With that, we take a look at Action TV.
The Central Environmental Authority has intervened to stop the environmental destruction that was taking place in the Suduella area on the banks of the Galoya in the Ampara Divisional Secretariat area. The authority did so by annulling the recommendation it had granted for the mining of soil mixed with sand in the area on the 16th of August 2011. This decision, which can be equated to closing the stable door after the horse has bolted, was arrived at on the 8th of this month, with the authority's deputy director in charge of the Eastern Zone notifying the Ampara District mining engineer of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau through this letter to annul the license granted by the Bureau. On the 8th of this month, Action TV exposed the involvement of the mining engineer in this matter. The 3-month license, which had been issued by the head office of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, was fraudulently extended over a period of 1 year by the said mining engineer in the Ampara district. Accordingly, the Central Environmental Authority's call for the license to be annulled comes a full 5 months after the license expired. Considering the letter addressed to the licensee by the Ampara Divisional Secretary stating that if the relevant institutions agree to the removal of sand washed up in the area, then the Secretariat would not oppose it, the Central Environmental Authority made further recommendations to the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau. On the 16th of August 2011, the authority informed the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau that officials at the authority had conducted field investigations in the area prior to making the recommendations. There is a question here as to whether the licensee indeed dug 20-foot deep holes in the ground in order to remove sand washed up by flood waters. When the machine used to mine sand in the area has been handed back to the owner by a very helpful police service, after area residents went to great lengths to have it taken into custody, shouldn't steps be taken against the institutions and officials who were complicit in this destruction? District Secretary of Ampara, this one is over to you.
Well, the body of prisoner Maridas Davis Dale Rukshan, who passed away while receiving treatment at the Bragman Teaching Hospital, has been handed over to his family.
Maridas, who had been imprisoned on suspicion of being a member of the LTTE, was injured in the recent clashes which erupted at the Vaunia prison and was transferred to the Mahara prison, from where he was admitted to the Ragama Teaching Hospital. The body of Maridas Davis Dale Rukshan is now lying at his home in Jaffna. Our reporter says that the final rites will be performed tomorrow. Ganesh Nimalaruban, an inmate who was injured in the recent clashes at the Vaunia prison and was admitted to the Ragama Teaching Hospital, also passed away recently. Meanwhile, a campaign to collect signatures commenced at the Vaunia town today. The campaign is organized by the group Activists for Human Rights. We demand that the government immediately release all political prisoners. We ask that equal rights be granted to all people residing in Sri Lanka.
Well, you're with News First. Taking a look back at one of our local stories, presenting a private member's motion in Parliament today, UMP MP Ravi Karunanayake emphasized that the time has come to create a strong national identity.
මේ යෝජනාව වූයේ ඒ තාමත් ශක්තිමත් ශ්‍රී ලංකා අනන්‍යතාවය තුළින් අපේ තියෙන දුර්වලතා මගහැරලා ඉදිරියට කටයුතු කිරීම.
My proposal was to create a stronger Sri Lankan identity and work towards the future. The aim of this is not to suppress our religious or cultural traditions. We all need to speak as Sri Lankans. In the Sri Lankan cricket team, the captain doesn't say he is singular, and likewise Angelo Matthews doesn't say he is someone else. It is one Sri Lankan cricket team. This is what we want. Look at India. The Prime Minister is a Sikh national. The former president was Buddhist. The former army commander was a Catholic. No one said that 70% of Indians are Hindus, and they should also be the same.
ඒ සම්බන්ධයෙන් කවුරුත් කිව්වේ නැහැ ඉන්දියාවේ 170 කියන හින්දු හින්දි නිසා ඒ වගේ වෙන්න ඕනේ කියලා.
Our Sri Lankanness has been appropriated by the majority community in the eyes of the minority. We are after a conflict which inevitably polarizes a country. However, we have an opportunity to look at unity in a new way. It has to be a unity based on equality, a unity not based on assimilation of others. We need to appeal to the new generation to come up with their ways in which how they would like to see our Sri Lankanness exhibited in a manner that everybody could feel strongly about it.
ශ්‍රී ලාංකීය ජාතිය ගොඩනැගෙන්නට උවමනා කරන මේ ජනවර්ගයන්ගේ එකඟත්වයක් කවදාවත් ඇති වුණේම නැහැ.
There was never an agreement reached between different ethnic groups. A Sri Lankan identity can only be created when an agreement is reached between these ethnic groups. If we want to develop a Sri Lankan identity, we cannot merely restrict this to asking whether the nationality or religion should be mentioned in a form. If all groups have equality, security and respect, then all ethnic groups can join together.
සමානත්වය ගරුත්වය ආරක්ෂාව සෑම ජනවර්ගයකටම තිබෙනවා නම් තමයි මේ සියලු ජනවර්ගයන්ට එකතු වෙලා එකම ජාතියක් ගොඩනගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ.
Well, Shane, before we wrap up tonight's news, we have some interesting visuals that we received from NASA.
That's right, Gayatri. The collection of new photos included a panoramic color image of Gale Crater, a vast basin where the nuclear-powered six-wheel rover touched down on Sunday after flying through space for more than 8 months. And with that, we wrap up this edition of your Primetime News Bulletin. I'm Shane Silva.
And I'm Gayatri Gunratna. Have a great weekend ahead. Good night.